Hi everyone, my name is Nick Thorsch, and this is Smokey the Bear. You might remember Smokey the Bear taught us that only you can prevent forest fires. Well, now it's got to be we. The US government just spent $2 trillion in 20 years fighting a war that we lost. And unfortunately, that money could have been spent on winning the climate war. It's come down to us, because that's exactly how much it's going to cost and how long it's going to take. $2 trillion would get us about 2 trillion trees. The world used to have about 6 trillion trees at its peak. It's now got about 3 trillion. So the $2 trillion plus that we spent on the war, we could have used that to plant 2 trillion trees around the world for peace. And 20 years is about what it takes to get a mature tree to grow all the way. And we've lost about 3 trillion trees due to deforestation, logging, and burning. There are huge fires going on in California right now, up near the Sequoias in Northern California. It's going to be the biggest fire ever in California. And in Australia, where I also used to live, there were mega fires which burned billions of trees, koalas, kangaroos, and native species that have never had to fend for themselves before. They don't know how to fight off fires. Well, guess what? We do. We got to be their protectors. We got to be the protectors of our home. This is our home, Earth. It's up to us to save it. Trees are fantastic because they take CO2 out of the atmosphere and they replace it with oxygen that we breathe. Water that they take in, they also expel that as well too, just like we sweat. They're the ones that are responsible for creating the rain in the Amazon rainforest. As you can see behind me, the trees are black on the bottom, they go up to brown, and they're green at the top. Trees burn from the bottom. Trees bigger than this, called sequoia trees, are currently under threat in Northern California, where there's huge wildfires that have been burning tons and tons of trees and approaching the sequoia forest. Sequoias are the world's tallest trees. Trees as big as this going up in flames would release a ton of CO2. So they've actually wrapped General Sherman, which is the world's tallest tree, in a fire protective tin foil towards the base of his tree. That's why we need to act now to start planting trees that live in water so that they are protected. Sparks are generally caused by about one of three things. Human-caused activities like campfires or lighting a match to smoke while they're in the forest. Two, through power plants and their transmission lines. So they have boxes at the top of towers, and as they overheat, they can short circuit and sparks fly out, land on dry tinder, and start a forest fire. And those forest fires can be huge. And three, they can also be caused by dry lightning storms, which increase as global warming also increases. These dry lightning storms don't have the rain to really put out the sparks that these lightnings can cause. So the less heat that we have in the atmosphere, the more we can start to save the planet. As you can see here, it says no fires due to high wildfire risk because there is so much tinder on the ground. We're not talking about Tinder, the app. There's a lot of dry brush in between these trees. You can see there's dead leaves, things that aren't going to come back to life. They're certainly not composting, and no one's going to come through and rake up all this area. There's just too much of it. Even a single spark could take down entire forests. The real solution is taking the greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere. Those greenhouse gases are what's trapping too much heat. The ozone layer is meant to keep us warm, but too many gases, excess gases caused by human activities, is going to make it too warm. And that's what creates too many fires. So the way to take the greenhouse gases out of the atmosphere is through planting more trees. Trees that live in water where it is wet, where it's not going to burn. You can see the creek behind me is pretty dry. And the summer has been pretty dry as well too. Now those trees, their root systems would reach towards the creek to be able to get water. And this is what we're facing. Trees that don't have water are more prone to not be able to exist. So we have to plant trees in areas where there is water, like mangrove trees. Mangrove trees live in water, can live in salt water, so they're less likely to burn. Mangroves suck up a lot of carbon dioxide, and it goes to their trunks. They also bury CO2 under the ground in terms of their peat, which is the leaves that fall off the trees. And their root systems also go underground. They build upwards as sea levels rise. That's why they're the perfect solution to climate change. Trees usually take about 20 years to fully mature, where they're fully taking in the most amount of carbon dioxide that they possibly can. And we have about 9 years left in our carbon budget before before we exceed the 1.5 degrees Celsius that scientists say we need to stay under to prevent even worse catastrophes, like more disasters, crop shortages, and floods. It's pretty clear that the governments around the world aren't going to make enough investment fast enough to solve climate change. Otherwise, they already would have. We haven't transitioned over industries enough, we haven't planted enough trees, and we see fires getting worse and worse every single year. What can we do? We gotta buy ourselves more time. The more time that we can buy, the more time that we can use that time to create better technologies, like getting electric vehicles on the road, like getting solar panels on people's homes, to transition industries across to clean power. That's why we need to ourselves. I'm excited to announce that we've created a new organization called Share2Seed to allow us to share in the rewards of impact and income.
As we can see around the area, we are promoting the agroforestry system of planting. We are planting the mahogany in 4x4 spacing so that we can promote optimal growth of the mahogany, and in between, the beneficiaries or the landowners can still plant the crops that can sustain their income until the harvest of their mahogany.
Eddie and our community-based environmental conservation group is engaged in mangrove restoration within the Kenyan coastal line. We are aiming at planting 40,000 seedlings in the next 6 months. We are raising funds through Share2Seed. We therefore request for your donations and support through Share2Seed so that we can plant mangrove trees. We are concentrating on mangroves because the mangroves sequester a lot of carbon than any other tree species in the world. In return, when we get the contribution through Share2Seed, we will therefore share videos and photos as proof to show that the money we received has been put into the use it has been intended for, and it has created the impact that we are promising. We are very much grateful and thankful for the support that you are going to give us in order to make this world a better place to live. Thank you very much.
My name is Nurali. I'm an executive director of Changamoto Youth Development Organization. We operate here in South Tanzania. I'm making this video for the Share2Seed followers and supporters so that they can support us planting the indigenous trees as well as fruit trees. 120,000 indigenous trees. We need your support to help the community to get employment, conserve the environment, as well as restore the ecology of the world. We hope that you are going to support us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi Share2Seed friends, my name is Barbara. Through our mutual projects, we will be working together focusing on the sustainability initiatives such as afforestation, reforestation, environmental awareness campaigns, improving livelihoods, and women empowerment through smart agricultural practices, with the purpose of conserving the biodiversity and planting trees on areas where the tree coverage has been affected, and also improving environmental awareness. With your financial support, we'll be able to restore the trees in areas that have been affected with cases such as deforestation and cutting down trees. We'll be playing our part by providing you with photos and videos and reports on how your funds have been invested on their intended purposes. Thank you for your support in making the world a better place.
Yeah! So how will you help us prevent wildfires? Smokey the Bear and I just want to say thanks for your support.